नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते वीरकृष्ण गोस्वामी इति नामिने नमो हंसनिकासाय प्रभुपाद प्रियायते शूद्रशुद्धिनिष्ठाभ्य तस्य वाकिन्वादिने नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देव्ये गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Small kirtan. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Lo Shri Shri Radha Golok Nand ki jai. Lo Shri Shri Gurudev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All Samaved Bhakta Vrind ki jai. So I'll continue the reading of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, with the blessings of Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. So very quickly, I will give a small intro, background talk on where we are. We are on verse number 152 of chapter 8 of Madhya Leela. So it is said in scriptures that whenever Guru shows up, Guru gives darshan to the disciples unannounced. It is always for the benefit of the disciple. And it is stated that when Narada Muni, Maharshi Narada, shows up in front of a hunter, the hunter becomes Sage Valmiki. When Narada Muni again shows up in front of now the Sage Valmiki, the Ramayana happens. Right? So whenever a guru shows up unannounced in front of the disciple and gives him or her darshan, the hetu is only kalyana of that disciple or kalyana of the other souls, wretched souls, via that disciple. Right? There are innumerable examples in the scriptures. So in these nectarian pastimes of Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu decides to give a similar unannounced darshan to Ramananda Raya. And what comes out is the churning of the entire Vedic knowledge from the mouth of Ramananda Raya. And the most nectarian pastimes is what we are about to start, where Ramananda Raya talks about, what is the position of Srimati Radharani. So, I think we are supposed to start with text number 152 on page 191. The previous verse for the continuity says, Krishna has unlimited potencies which can be divided into three main parts. These are the spiritual potency, the material potency, and the marginal potency, which is known as the living entities. Antaranga Bahiranga Tatastha Kahiyare Antaranga Swarupa Shakti Sabara Upare. So translation by Srila Prabhupada. In other words, there are all these are all potencies of God, Krishna himself, internal, external, and marginal. But the internal potency of the Lord's personal energy, the internal potency is the Lord's personal energy and stands over the other two. So the internal potency, the Antaranga Shakti, has the jurisdiction over the Bahiranga Shakti and the Tatastha Shakti. And the Tatastha Shakti is what is the marginal potency, that is the living soul. Vishnu Shakti para prokta क्षेत्रज्ञ क्षेत्रज्ञख्या तथा para avidya karma संज्ञान्य tritiya shaktir ishyate. The original potency of Lord Vishnu is superior or spiritual, and the living entity actually belongs to that superior energy. But there is another energy called the marginal energy, and this is the third energy that is full of ignorance. So there are multiple references in spiritual literature in our scriptures, including Vishnu Purana and in some of the other Puranas, on the position of a living entity. And here, that's one of the reasons why Mahaprabhu is asking a series of questions. Because Ramananda Raya is very learned, he has learned all the scriptures, and Mahaprabhu knows that. And so Mahaprabhu is asking a series of questions to churn that knowledge and bring up the butter, the essence of the knowledge. So it's a series of questions that has brought us to this last part where he's going to talk about what is the true position of Radharani. Satchidananda Maya Krishnera Swarupa Atat Ataiva Swarupa Shakti Hayatina Rupa. Originally, Lord Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, the transcendental form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Therefore, his personal potency, the internal potency, has three different forms. Anandamshe Lahadini, Sadamshe Sannidhin, Chitamshe Samvit, Yare Gnana Kari Mani. Lahadini is his aspect of bliss, Sandhini of eternal existence, and Samvit of cognizance, which is also accepted as knowledge. Lahadini, Sandhini, Samvit, Tvayi Eka Sarve Samsraye, Lahada Tapa Kari Mishra, Tvayi no Guna Varjite. Translation: My dear Lord, you are the transcendental reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Your pleasure potency, the existence potency, and knowledge potency are actually all one internal spiritual potency. The conditioned soul, although actually spiritual, sometimes experiences pleasure, sometimes pain, and sometimes a mixture of the pain and pleasure. This is due to his belonging this is due to his being touched by matter. But because you are above all material qualities, these are not found in you. Your superior spiritual potency is completely transcendental, and for you there is no such thing as relative pleasure, pleasure mixed with pain, or pain itself. So in purport, Srila Prabhupada says this is a quotation from Vishnu Purana 1:1269. कृष्ण के आह्लादे ताते नाम लादिनी से शक्ति द्वारे सुख आस्वादे आपनी. The potency called Ladini gives Krishna transcendental pleasure. Through this pleasure potency, Krishna personally tastes all spiritual pleasures. Sukha Rupa Krishna Kare, Sukha Ashwadana, Bhakta Gane Sukha Dite, Ladini Karana. Lord Krishna tastes all kind of transcendental happiness, although he himself is happiness personified. The pleasure relished by his pure devotee is also manifested by his pleasure potency, the Lahadini Shakti. Lahadinira Sara Amsha Tara Prema Nama Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Premera Akhyana. The most celestial, most essential part of his pleasure potency is love of Godhead, prema. Consequently, the explanation of love of Godhead is also a transcendental mellow full of pleasures. Premera Paramasara Mahabhava Jani Sei Mahabhava Rupa Radha Thakurani. The essential part of love of Godhead is called Mahabhava, transcendental ecstasy. And that ecstasy is represented by Srimati Radharani. Tayorapi Ubhayora Madhye Radhika Sarvas Sarvatha Sarvathadika Mahabhava Swarupeyam Gunera Ativaryasi. Among the gopis of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani and another gopi are considered chief. But when we compare the gopis, it appears that Srimati Radharani is most important because her real feature expresses the highest ecstasy of love. The ecstasy of love experienced by other gopis cannot be compared to that of Srimati Radharani. This, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, this is a quotation from Srila Rupa Goswami's Ujjvala Nilamani. So, what is being talked about here is the pure love of Godhead, as shown or as revealed by Srimati Radharani, as compared to other gopis of Vrajadhama. And this is repeatedly stated in various scriptures, especially by many Vaishnava Maharshis, including Narada Muni. So in Bhakti Sutras, Narada Muni specifically examines what is the definition of bhakti, right? Athato bhakti vyakhyasam is what he starts with. Let's define what is bhakti. And then he talks about how different sages define bhakti. And then he draws his own conclusion that in his opinion, the bhakti is supposed to be the pure love of Godhead. It's the service, but it is service in the love. It's a loving service. It's not one of those service in the form of a servitude or shanta rasa or vatsalya rasa or none of them. It is the madhurya rasa that he emphasizes as the service, as the epitome of bhakti. And to give an example, he says the bhakti has to be loving service like that of gopis. And within the gopis also, it has to be the loving service like the one that is shown by Srimati Radharani herself. Premera swarupa deha prema vibhavita krishnera preyasi shrestha jagate vidvita. The body of Srimati Radharani is most veritable transformation of love of Godhead. She is the dearmost friend of Krishna, and this is known throughout the world. Anand Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhes Tabhirya Eva Nija Rupataya Kalabhi Goloka Eva Nivashati Akhilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who resides in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the ecstatic potency Hladini. Their companions are her confidants, who embody extensions of her bodily form and who are imbued and permeated with ever blissful spiritual rasa. This is a quotation from the Brahma Samhita 537. Sei Mahabhavaya Chintamani Sara Krishna Vancha Purana Kare Ei Karya Tantra 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 Krishna Vancha Purna Kare Ei Karya Tantra. So that supreme ecstasy of Srimati Radharani is the essence of spiritual life. Her only business is to fulfill all the desires of Krishna. Mahabhava Chintamani Radhara Swarupa Lalitadi Sakhi Tandra Kaya Vyuha Rupa. Srimati Radharani is the topmost spiritual gem, and the other gopis, Lalita, Vishakha, and so on, are expansions of her spiritual body. Radha, Radha Prati Krishna Sneha Sugandhi Udvartana Tat, tat, Tate Ati Sugandhi Deha Ujvala Varana. Translation, Srila Prabhupada says, Srimati Radharani's transcendental body is brilliant in luster and full of transcendental fragrances. Lord Krishna's affection for her is like a perfumed massage. So, purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Sugandhi Uvartana refers to a paste made of Udvartana. Sugandhi Udvartana refers to a paste made of several perfumes and fragrant oils. This paste is massaged all over the body, and in this way, the body's dirt and perspirations are removed. Srimati Radharani's body is automatically perfumed, but when her body is massaged with the scented paste of Lord Krishna's affection, her entire body is doubly perfumed and made brilliant and lustrous. This is the beginning of Krishna Dasa Kaviraj Goswami's description of Srimati Radharani's transcendental body. This description, found in verses 165 through 181, is based on a book by Srila Raghunatha Das Goswami known as Premam Bhoja Mardana. Premam Bhoja Maranda. Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur's translation of the original Sanskrit reads as follows. The love of gopis for Krishna is full of transcendental ecstasy. It appears to be a brilliant jewel, and enlightened by such transcendental jewel, Radharani's body is further perfumed and decorated with kunkuma. In the morning, her body is bathed in the nectar of compassion, in the afternoon, in the nectar of youth, and in the evening, in the nectar of luster itself. In this way, the bathing is performed, and her body becomes as brilliant as the Chintamani jewel. She is dressed in various kinds of silken garments, one of which is her natural shyness. Her beauty is more and more enhanced, being decorated with the red kunkuma of beauty itself and the blackish musk of conjugal love. Thus, her body is decorated with different colors. Her ornaments embody the natural symptoms of ecstasy, trembling, tears, jubilation, stunning, perspirations, faltering of voice, bodily redness, madness, and dullness. In this way, her entire body is bedecked with these 9 different jewels. Over and above this, the beauty of her body is enhanced by her transcendental qualities, which constitute the flower garland hanging on her body. The ecstasy of love for Krishna is known as dhira and adhira, sober and restless. Such ecstasy constitutes the covering of Srimati Radharani's body, and it is adorned by camphor. Her transcendental anger towards Krishna is embodied as the arrangement of the hair on her head, and the tilaka of her great fortune shines on her beautiful forehead. Srimati Radharani's earrings are the holy names of Krishna, as well as the hearing of his names and fame. Hearing of his name and fame. Her lips are always reddish due to the betel nut of ecstatic affection for Krishna. The black ointment around her eyes is her tricky behavior with Krishna, brought about by love. Her joking with Krishna and gentle smiling constitute the camphor with which she is perfumed. She sleeps in her room with the aroma of pride. When she lies down in her bed, the transcendental variety of her loving ecstasies is like a jeweled locket in the midst of her necklace of separation. Her transcendental breasts are covered by her sari in the form of affection and anger towards Krishna. She has a stringed instrument known as Kachapi Veena, which is the fame and fortune that actually dries up the faces and breasts of the other gopis. She always keeps her hands on the shoulder of her gopi friend who represents her youthful beauty. And although she is highly qualified with so many spiritual assets, she is nonetheless affected by the Cupid known as Krishna. Thus she is defeated. Thus she is defeated. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami offers his respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani, taking a straw in his mouth. Indeed, he prays, O Gandharvika, Srimati Radharani, just as Lord Krishna never rejects a surrendered soul, please don't reject me. This is a summary translation of Premam Bhoja Maranda, which Kaviraj Goswami quotes. Karunyamrita dharaya snana prathama तारुण्यमय तारुण्यमृत धाराय स्नान मध्यमा कारुण्यमन okay. Srimati Radharani takes her first bath in the shower of nectar of compassion, and she takes her second bath in the nectar of youth. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srimati Radharani first smears her body with the paste of affection for Krishna. Then she takes her bath in the water of mercy. After passing the Pongada age from 5 to 10 years, Srimati Radharani first appears as mercy. The second bath is taken at noon in the water of Tarunyamrita, or the nectar of youth. This is the actual expression of her new youthfulness. Lavanyamrita dharaya tad upari snana nija lajja shyama pattasati paridhana pattasati paridhana. After translation, after her midday bath, Radharani takes another bath in the nectar of bodily luster, and she puts on the garment of shyness, which is her black silk sari. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Over and above the other baths, the bath taken in the afternoon is taken in the nectar of full beauty. This nectar represents the personal qualities of beauty and luster. Thus, there are three baths in different kinds of water. Radharani then puts on two garments, a lower and an upper garment. The upper garment is pinkish and is her affection and attraction for Krishna, and the lower garment, a blackish silk sari, is her shyness. कृष्ण अनुराग द्वितीय अरुण वसन प्राण प्राण प्राणय मान कंचुलिकाय वक्ष आच्छादन. Srimati Radharani's affection for Krishna is her upper garment, which is pinkish in color. She then covers her breasts with another garment composed of affection and anger towards Krishna. Saundarya Kunkuma Sakhi Pranaya Chandana Smita Kanti Karpura Tine Ange Vilepana. Srimati Radharani's personal beauty is the reddish powder known as kunkuma. Her affection for her associates is sandalwood pulp, and the sweetness of her smile is camphor. All these combined together are smeared over her body. Krishnera Ujvala Rasa Mrigamada Bhara Sei Mrigamada Shri Sei Mrigamade Vichitrita Kalevara. Conjugal love of Krishna is an abundance of musk, and with that musk, her whole body is decorated. Prachanda mana vamya dhamila vinyasa धीरा 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 धीरात्मक गुण अंगे पटवास वास. Craftiness and covered anger constitute the arrangement of her hair. The qualities of anger due to jealousy is the silk garment covering her body. राग तांबूल रागे आधार उज्ज्वल प्रेम कौटिल्य नेत्र युगले kajala. Her attachment for Krishna is the reddish color of betel nuts on her brilliant lips. Her double dealings in loving affairs constitute the black ointment around her eyes. Shuddhipta Satvika Bhava Harshadi Sanchari E Saba Bhava Bhushana Saba Ange Bhari. The ornaments decorating her body are the blazing ecstasies of goodness and the constantly existing ecstasies headed by jubilation. All these ecstasies are the ornaments all over her body. Kila kinchitadi bhava vimshati bhushita guna shreni pushpamala sarvange purita. Also ornamenting her body are the 20 kinds of ecstatic symptoms, beginning with Kila Kinchita. Her transcendental qualities constitute the flower garland hanging in fullness over her body. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The 20 different moods headed by Kila Kinchita are, are described as follows. First, in connection with the body, there are bhava, ecstasy, hava, gestures, and hela, negligence. In relation to the self, there are shobha, beauty, kanti, luster, dipti, brilliance, madhurya, sweetness, pragalbhata, impudence, audarya, magnanimity, and dhairya, patience. In relation to nature, there are lila, pastimes, vilasa, enjoyment, vichiti, breaking off, vichiti, breaking off, and vibrama, puzzlement. There are no English equivalents for the words kila kinchita, mutayita, and kuttamita. Kuttamita. Srimati Radharani's flower garlands consist of her qualities and is divided into mental, verbal, and bodily parts. Her attitude of forgiveness and mercy is all mental. Her talks, which are very pleasing to the ear, are verbal, and the bodily qualities are age, beauty, luster, and grace. सौभाग्य तिलक चारु ललाटे उज्ज्वल प्रेम वैचित्य रत्न हृदय तरल. The tilaka of good fortune is on her beautiful broad forehead. Her various loving affairs are a gem, and her heart is the locket. मध्य वयस सखी स्कंदे करन्यास कृष्ण लीला मनोवृत्ति सखी आश पाश. Srimati Radharani's gopi friends are her mental activities which are concentrated on the pastimes of Sri Krishna. She keeps her hand on the shoulder of a friend who represents youth. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Radharani's 8 companions, Ashtasakhi, are different varieties of pleasure connected with the pastimes of Krishna. Following those pastimes of Sri Krishna are other activities which are represented by the assistance of the gopis. Nijanga Saurabhalaya Garva Garva Paryanka Tvate Vasiyache Sada Chinte Krishna Sangha. Srimati Radharani's bedstead is pride itself, and it is situated in the abode of her bodily aroma. She is always seated there thinking of Krishna's association. Krishna Nama Guna Yasha Av- Avatmamsha Kane Krishna Nama Guna Yasha Pravaha Vachane. Srimati Radharani's earrings are the name, fame, and qualities of Lord Krishna. The glories of Lord Krishna's name, fame, and qualities are always inundating her speech. कृष्ण के कराय श्याम रस मधुपान निरंतर पूर्ण करे कृष्णेर सर्व काम. Srimati Radharani induces Krishna to drink the honey of the conjugal relationship. She is therefore engaged in satisfying all the lusty desires of Krishna. Krishnera Vishuddha Prema Ratnera Akara Anupama Guna Gunagana Purna Kalevara. Srimati Radharani is a mine filled with the valuable jewels of love for Krishna. Her transcendental body is complete with unparalleled spiritual qualities. का कृष्णस्य प्राणय जनी भू श्रीमती राधिकैका कास्य प्रेयसी अनुपम गुण राधिकैका ना चान्य. जय जय जयम्यम कशे दृष्टि तरलता निष्ठुरत्वं कुचेष्व वाञ्छापूर्यति वाञ्छापूर्त्यति पूर्त्यै प्रभावती हरे हरे राधिकैका ना चान्य. If one asks about the origin of love of Krishna, the answer is that the origin is in Srimati Radharani alone, who is the most dear friend of Krishna. The answer again is Srimati Radharani alone, no one else. Srimati Radharani's hair is very curly. Her two eyes are always moving to and fro, and her breasts are firm, since all transcendental qualities are manifested in Srimati Radharani. She alone is able to fulfill all desires of Krishna, no one else. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is the quotation from Sri Govinda Lilamrita 11:122 by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. It is a verse in the form of questions and answers describing the glories of Srimati Radharani. Yantra Saubhagya Gunavanche Satyabhama Yanra Saubhagya Gunavanche Satyabhama Yanra Thani Thani Kala Vilasa Shikhe Vrajarama Rama. Yes, bro. So sorry, Prabhu. This is very nectarian pastimes, but I didn't want to break the flow with what uh, is so nicely described by Krishna, by Goswamis. So there is nothing else that I can add in this. I was just continuously reading. Well, please go ahead and ask. I think these are seems like they're allegories used on the bath she takes. They're describing the qualities of Radharani. Right. So at different age, she shows different kinds of. She imbibes different gunas, or she actually shows those gunas. Starts showing those gunas. No, I think they're. She shows those qualities continuously all the time. She's there always. All right. Thank you for listening. I think it's amazing pastimes of Mahaprabhu and such nectarian. 183, 184 years.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanbanda Aravindalayatatam Bhagavatam Samasitam Buddhasundaram Nandar Pato Vidamaniya Kishesha Shobha Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Astakale Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Vikayanti Viramagatanti Ananta Chinmaya Sadu Jala Vikrasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Taruni Mandala Mahite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Damodara Rahati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkutavin Ravipi Neshe Damodara Rahati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkutavin Ravipi Neshe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Vishabhanu Dari Navishashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vanu Dari Navishashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vishabhanu Dari Navishashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Parite Sanaka Sanantana Panita Charite. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Parite Sanaka Sanantana Panita Charite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shirare. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Vishabhanu Nandini, Radhe Radhe, Jaya Vishabhanu Nandini, Radhe Radhe. Giriraj ki jai, Giri Govardhan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Radha, all glories unto you, all glories unto you, beloved of Madhava, object of worship for all the young girls of Gokula. You dress yourself in such a way as to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for you. You are the controller of Vrindavan, the pleasure groves of Lord Hari. You are a new moon arisen from the ocean of King Vishabhanu. You are the friend of Lalita, and your wonderful qualities, friendliness, kindness, and faithfulness to Krishna, endear you to Vishaka. You are an ocean of compassion, and your divine characteristics are described by the four Kumaras, Sanak, Sanata, and Sananda, and Sanat Kumara. O Radha, please be merciful to me. Jayam Vishnu Padmanam Sapavakatariya Stotara Satashi Shimad. His Divine Grace, Shila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Padmanam Sapavakatariya Stotara Satashi Shimad. His Divine Grace, Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Thakur Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindi Ki Jai. Namacharya Sodas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindamana Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Dwarka Dham Ki Jai. Gokul Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Swami Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Shmati Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrindi Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the Lordship Shri Shri Radha Golokananda. All glories Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Shri Shastastika. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Baba Mahadavagnir Nivapanam. Shraya Chaiva Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Vidyam Padam Punastavanam. Sarvatma Sanabham Panam Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Nam Namakari Bahudani Jasavar Shaktis Tatrapitani Amata Smaranena Kala Etardisita Vakipa Bhagavam Mamapi Durdaivam Idrisham Yajani Nanugra Trinada Pisa Nechana Toror Pisa Hishana Mani Dhamma Dinena Kirtanaya Sarai Nadanam Najanam Sundarim Kavitam Bhajagadish Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishwarai Bhaktera Kuti Twai Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Vitanamam Vishame Bhavavado Kripayata Vapada Pankaja Stiti Lisa Darshana Vichintaya Nayanam Galada Shudaraya Vadanam Gargaduraya Gira Pulake Nichitam Babukara Tavanamagane Vishite Yugayatam Nimishana Chakshushapavishayatam Chanyayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahiname Ashli Shiva Padavritam Panastumam Hadarshanam Mamahatam Korotuva Yatatatava Vidato Lampato Ma Prananastu Sa Eva Napara.
state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Oh, my Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any numbers of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. Ó Son of Maharaja Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I may consider a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain, so even he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki